Good day.
Good day. So we're going to get started, and I've introduced myself, but I wanted to introduce you to the fabulous, amazing Hannah Hull, and together we do a project called Madlove, a Designer Asylum, and Hannah will introduce yourself properly later, credentials and shit, but we're going to divide up the tasks of what we're talking about. So I will do like a talk about the project, and then Hannah will do a presentation called Working with Madness in a bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Anything else you want to say?
No.
You sure?
I love you.
I love you too.
Aww.
In a mad way, mad love way.
Leave you to it?
Unless I have a panic attack, and then you're in control.
Yeah. Unless I have a panic attack.
So, I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. And that is the first lie that I have told today, because that's not true. Sometimes it's really horrible. Hello, my name is James. I make art and I make activism under the name of the vacuum cleaner. I began doing this in 2003 after being in a mental health hospital for a year. What's wrong? It's not working. Now it's working. Hopefully. Alles gut. What was I saying? I was making art, and that started in 2003 after being in a mental health hospital for a year, and after that I was homeless for about a year and a half and taking way too many drugs. So things got really messy in my life. I identify as mad and crazy and insane, deranged, out of my mind, a lunatic, nuts, bonkers, cuckoo, a loony, bananas, gaga, not right in the head, and also mental. And for me, those are terms of empowerment. So since the age of 16, I've struggled with my mental health. However, for a very long time, it was hidden from the world. But in 2009, following another period in a mental health hospital, I came out as a mad person. And over the last 6 years, mental health has been the focus of the art that I've been making, but also a strategy for survival in the world. So for me, many mental health hospitals in the UK felt more punishment than loving, oppressive rather than liberating. Design of these mental health hospitals seemed to be more about controlling me and other people rather than making us feel less shit. So this is the mission statement from Brett Ward at the City and Hackney Centre for Mental Health, and it's lying to you. That's not true. And somebody wrote the word false hope in felt tip pen repeatedly on the sign when I was in the hospital, but they kept rubbing it out. And then so this is the mental health hospital that I was in. Okay, that's my best joke. Let's try that again. This is the last mental health hospital I was in. See, in English it's really funny because it's a bin and, and it's got the word loony on it. It's a loony bin, right? Anyway. That went really well. This is the bedroom of the last hospital that I was in. It had no window. It had a bed with a pillow and a crap blanket. And the hospital had just had a €1 million refurbishment. It's gone off again, hasn't it? That's how ugly this mental health hospital is. The projector is just like, fuck you, you crazy person. Like, that's all right. Hashtag first world problems. It's kind of sad when the projector going off is the funniest thing about your presentation, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the bedroom, and it just had a massive refurbishment. So at the time, I thought to myself, you know, we, us crazy people, we could do better than this. Madlove, a designer asylum. It is not a bad thing to need a safe space to go mad. The problem is that a lot of mental health hospitals are more punishment than love. They need some mad love. Is it possible to go mad in a positive way? How would you create a safe space in which to do so? If you could design your own asylum, what would it be like? And we use the word asylum in its original meaning to mean safe place, not in like the right-wing press hatred way. Is anybody here from Louis Vuitton? Anybody work for Louis Vuitton? Hannah, we're fine. We're not going to get sued. Not today. Madlove, a Designer Asylum is an art project which is led by the fabulous Hannah Hull and myself, and it's based on our experiences of mental health and our desire to find positive spaces to experience mental distress and mental enlightenment. Our project is bringing together people with and without madness, mental health professionals, academics, artists, designers, and everybody else on the spectrum. Our aim is to build the most crazy, bonkers mental asylum that we dare dream of. A desirable and playful space to go mad, countering the popular myth that mental distress is dangerous and scary. Together, we are attempting to create a unique space where mutual care can blossom, stigma and discrimination are actively challenged, divisions understood, and madness can be experienced in a less painful way. Madlove is not the lunatics taking over the asylum. It's much more radical than that. We are proposing that we should design, build, and run the asylum too. So, our process. So firstly, Hannah and I began by finding experts. And that means people that have been experts by living through madness or distress, rather than professional experts such as doctors or academics. Those are experts like ourselves and like many of you in this room. And we found our experts in mental health hospitals, and we also invited them into art spaces. We've listened to over 450 people so far, and we've been taking them on an imaginative journey. We've told people not to worry about the laws of physics, or money, or austerity, that in this process, anything was possible. But also to listen to each other's experiences, without invalidating each other. The first thing that we did was to stimulate the imagination. So Hannah presented people with a selection of ordinary objects and asked the question, how can you use this object to support someone's mental health? So, for example, the acorn, people would say things like, an acorn represents a change of scenery, stepping into a different environment. We asked people, how does good mental health care make you feel? Valid, supported, free, accepted, and my favorite, I'm not okay, but that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. We asked people, what does good mental health look, smell, taste, sound, and feel like to touch? It looks like a blue sky or a forest. It sounds like running water or bird song. To touch, it feels like pet fur or wood. It tastes like wine and chocolate. And it smells like cut grass and bacon. Yeah, I'm a vegetarian. Sorry, don't invalidate each other's experiences. And this gave us a sensory palette for the designers to work with. So Hannah has this really beautiful line that design is more than just what something looks like, it's also what it sounds like and what it smells like. What are the qualities of the people around you? So we have respectful people, funny people, they have kind eyes, and they are hopeful. And if you could design your own asylum, what would it be like? So what facilities and activities support mental health? A professional hugger. A farm with kittens and puppies. Puppies. Music and art. And a room with Fabergé eggs and a hammer. No, Jess. So we've received thousands of suggestions from over 450 people from around England, but also in other places in Europe. For Hannah and for me, it's been hard. There has been tears and there has been sleepless nights. We have met some very, very damaged people. People whose lives have repeatedly been shit on. But it's also been inspiring to meet people with such profound knowledge of their own experience and their own care and support and how they would like that to be. For us, that is knowledge that has been ignored for far too long. So, what have we made? For Hannah and I, the research that we've done had to be put into practice. So over the last 3 years, we've been trying to do this in different ways. It's important to remember it's just me and Hannah. We're not a big organization with funding. It's just two crazy people trying to do this. We made a living installation in Liverpool during the spring of 2005, and the first thing that you saw when you arrived was a doormat to welcome you. over 3 months, we opened a space in an art gallery in Liverpool with a range of design features, offering a range of privacy and a very definite anti-hospital feel. This was a place to test the research and to gain reflection. During this time, local mad people from Liverpool used the space. Hannah came up with this really great question. What do you do that supports your own mental health? And how can you share that with other people? So people came together and shared that with each other. And over 3,000 people visited the space, and they organized over 300 events during the time it was open. We also went full out on getting media coverage. So down to the power of the BBC, we could reach 60 million people just by getting them to come and make a film about it. So the second thing is a presentation of our research and a model proposing a utopian mental health hospital. So in the spring of 2006, we visited some specific hospitals to listen to the voices of people that were missing from our process and research to date. That included people that needed very high levels of support. So for example, people in medium and high security mental health hospitals, people of color who are using services disproportionately more than white people, and people with both learning and mental health disabilities. So we visited 6 hospitals in England, most of them providing specific services. In the autumn and winter of 2016, we made an installation in an art gallery in London where we presented our research. And also, we displayed an architectural model of what a utopian mental health hospital could be like, which was designed by Projects Office, a small architecture company in London. The model offers different zones for different activities. So there's a sleepy and calm zone, there's communal and social spaces, there's therapeutic and spiritual spaces, and there's a physical and active zone. And obviously, again, it has very non-hospital colors and textures. And it was visited by over 150,000 people, which was really great to get that out there and inspire other people. So the Royal Hospital for Sick Children in Edinburgh. So our architect collaborators, Projects Office, are currently finishing the designs for an interior of a children's mental health hospital in Scotland. I spent a week with these children, with their parents and the staff of the hospital to come up with ideas for the perfect mental health hospital. That's a drawing of some of the designs. I think that's like the communal play area. So for this process, we really had to adapt the workshop for young people with learning disabilities, for young women with anorexia, as well as understanding the needs of the adults, visiting the young people, and the staff. So we met everybody from the cleaners right up to the bosses of the hospital, and we tried to get them all in the same space to discuss. Sleep is what's next. So Hannah and I are continuing with this project in many different ways. I think for us both, this is a life's work. Oh, the lights went out. And that happened. That's not a metaphor, by the way. So Hannah is currently leading on a pilot program for student nurses, getting them the student nurses to consider their own mental health, which might sound normal, but it's actually quite a radical project because they never think about their own mental health. And we've just been invited to work on another hospital project next year. And so this is a completely emotionally exhausting project. And we are blurring the lines between art and healthcare. But for me and for Hannah, it's really exciting to see how utopian and willfully optimistic thinking can affect real change. Change for people like me and Hannah, and many of you that have faced horrific discrimination just for far too long. Today feels like a civil rights moment for us mad people. And however frightening it is, it's good to be able to say that I am mad, and I'm proud of being mad. Thank you.